Hey everyone, it's James from jgscripts.com and I'm super excited to show you the all new Dealerships V2 script. So this has been in the works for quite a long time now, probably 4 or 5 months. It's a huge upgrade. It's a completely new script from Dealerships V1. We've rewritten every aspect of it from the ground up, and there are so many new things to show you. It's got an all new design. You now configure everything in game, so no more config files at all. And we just added so many things. It's super, super exciting. And let's jump right into it. So starting off with what you are kind of used to with dealerships, which is the showroom. So with the in-game creator, you can create all types of different interactions. I'm going to show you how to create a dealership in-game shortly, but those interactions can be PEDs, they can be objects, they can be standard sort of text UI zones or polyzones. And you can use like target and all of these different interaction types. It's very, very flexible. I've set up a PED here, this guy standing here, so I can target onto him. I could also set this up with like 3D text UI, a regular text UI. But for target, it's quite nice with PEDs, so I'm just going to open the showroom. And you get a somewhat familiar but nice, clean new look to the showroom. So we can see all of our categories here. And we can click into a category, say SUVs. We have search, so we can search for one. So for example, the Illusion here, or we can use the filtering. So we can sort by availability. And then if I clear my search, I can now see the ones that are in stock. This is an owned dealership, and owned dealerships essentially mean that they are managed by other people in the server. So someone has to own it, manage the finances, purchase stock, manage employees, and so on. But you can also have self-service dealerships. And these are ones that are just kind of NPC ran. Like you can go into anyone can go in and all vehicles are available. And you just have a sort of automated process for buying vehicles. And admins can go in, server admins can go in and sort of manage those themselves. So very flexible in terms of how you want to have these set up. But for this own dealership, you can see we have stock levels. So we have 4 in stock here, 3 in stock, and these ones are all out of stock. I can click on a vehicle and it will show up. I can see some stats about it, its handling, top speed, and so on. We now have an all new option to choose any color from an RGB spectrum, but you can still choose to have it restricted to a certain set of colors, whether those be RGB colors or color IDs. For compatibility with some older mechanic scripts. And you can have some new options down here too. You can now choose the vehicle to spin round as you look at other vehicles as well. And while you choose a color, so you can get it just right. And you can also use a handy little slider here to look around nice and easy. So just a slightly improved user experience for actually looking at the vehicle in question. We have financing, so super advanced financing system with payments available. So you can configure how many payments, the down payment, and so on. And customers can have a look here for the breakdown, and you can choose your color, of course, and you can optionally turn on test drives. So you don't have to have this option on, but on a per dealership basis, you can turn on test drives. So if I click on test drive, I can go ahead and test drive the vehicle. You can choose this to be in a bucket so others can't see it, or you can choose it to be out in the open like this. In addition to test drive, of course, you have purchase. So you can click purchase and you get a whole range of different options. So you can choose to pay in full, you can choose to finance if financing is enabled, and depending on how it's being configured, and the player can choose cash, bank account, or you can set up other payment options too. In this new V2 as well, we have coupon codes. So managers of the dealership or admins can set up coupons to allow customers to get either like a full discount, if in case of one giving like a free vehicle, or promotional discounts to like help businesses thrive in the economy. We don't have any set up right now, but we can go ahead and purchase, and then the vehicle's purchased, we get the keys to it, and now we can go ahead and park it in our garage. Now, when purchasing this vehicle, if I had chosen to finance it instead of purchasing it in full, what I can go ahead and do is very easily manage my finance after the fact. So I've made my first initial payment, but anytime I can go to /myfinance, and then I can go ahead and see all my finance vehicles. So I can click on this, I can see how many payments are remaining, I can see when the next payment's going to be taken, and if I've missed a payment, it will show really easily in here, so I can catch up before it's taken away from me. If you use JG Advanced Garages, this user interface automatically shows within the garage, so you never have to remember the My Finance command, and you're always going to keep really on top of your payments. So if using both scripts, there's a really nice quality of life improvement there. Now, since this particular location, Platinum Deluxe Motorsport, is set up as an owned location, employees or managers of the business can go ahead and manage the business from an interaction point here. So I've set it up as a laptop, and I can go ahead and third eye onto it, open up dealership management, and we get a whole new management experience. This has been hugely upgraded from V1. We have all new sort of overview of data. So you can see a nice dashboard displaying all your stats from revenue made today, this month. You can look at different time periods on the graph here, and just a super clean new UI and lots of new features to explore. So of course we have the dashboard. Next we have the familiar vehicles area, and this still has the same features as before where you can go ahead and edit the price. So of course you have the purchase cost for the business. Since it's out of stock, we'd have to purchase more, and then the sale price. People who manage the business and have the right permissions, the right employee permissions, can go ahead and change the price. So this is the price that customers will purchase at. And we're going to go ahead and have the brand new place order. So in the past, placing an order in V1 would be a time waiting period. Now you can still set it up as a time waiting. So you make the order, and when you set the script up, you can choose how long it's going to take for it to be sort of like automatically delivered. But in V2, we also have the option to set up a trucking mission, so the employees of the business actually have to go and pick up the order that they've made. So I have that set up here. So let's go ahead and place an order for this Vapid Illusion, and let's go ahead and also order some other vehicles. So I'm going to order a few of these. So let's order like 3 of these. I also want like an RE. Oh, no, I don't have any supers on here. What else? Maybe some ballers. These big vehicles here. Let's go ahead and order a couple of these. Maybe one of these too. So we've gone ahead and ordered a few vehicles. So now when we go into orders, what we will see is no longer they're counting down, but they're all awaiting delivery. Now, you can have employees that are set up just to do deliveries, so they don't have any other permissions, but they can go in here and do a delivery to help deliver all these orders. Now, you don't have to order these individually. You can go ahead and fit them all into one truck if they fit. So I can go ahead and hit Start Delivery. And now I have the option of 2 different trailer types. So I have the small trailer, which can fit 4 medium vehicles or 6 small vehicles, or a container for larger vehicles. So in this case, the Illusion is too large to fit on the car trailer, but these 3 orders are small enough. So we have a baller here. So that's a medium vehicle. So maybe fit 2 of those in one row. Let's also do another 2 ballers here. And then that will be all of our slots except for 1 slot remaining. So we can do 1 of 3 of our assayers here. So I can hit get route, and it's going to explain where we need to go. So I'm picking up 4 vehicles total, and this is from the freight depot in the terminal. And it's going to take me roughly 10 minutes to go there and back. So I hit start delivery, and it's now going to say to get in the truck at the marked location. So I've set it to spawn outside. And now that I'm in the vehicle, you'll see that a waypoint has been marked on my map. So we just take a quick look. We have to drive all the way down here to the shipping area. And yeah, I'll start driving down there and I'll see you when I'm a bit closer.
1 eternity later.
All right, so I'm just now pulling up to the trailer. And yep, I can see that there's the 4 vehicles that I ordered. So I can see the 2 ballers, 3 ballers, and the assayer there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and reverse in under it. So drive under the trailer to attach it. Let's see if I can get my reversing good. And trailer attach, ready to continue. So I press E to unlock it and continue. And now I can drive off. So it's going to set our waypoint back to the dealership. And I've got to drive carefully and get these vehicles safely back to the dealership. All right, so I'm just arriving back now. Almost there. And we just need to drop off our trailer back here. So I press E to deliver the cargo. And there we go. I've now stocked those 4 vehicles. So for employees, this is a really nice, engaging way to add more RP to your server as well. Engaging thing to do those deliveries and potentially interact with other people who are on the way, whether it's from speeding or from being pulled over or maybe an accident on the road or road closures. It's just an awesome extra thing to add. And as you can see, we've now got these 2 orders fully delivered and 1 of 3 of our assayers. So someone else can come in here and complete the remaining delivery. Now, as an employee, I can also set up display vehicles if I have the correct permissions. Now, display vehicles are awesome. They are showroom fixed vehicles that can make your showroom nice and pretty, can show off different cars that you can sell, and players can directly interact with them, and it'll take them into the showroom and pre-select that vehicle. It's a really nice way to, again, enhance RP within the showroom and entice people into buying a certain vehicle. So to add a display vehicle, it's super easy. I just press add vehicle and then display the one I want to. So I'm going to display a baller. Let's do the performance version, and I want it in black. It's going to look awesome. So I'll hit place vehicle, and then it's going to say position yourself where you want the vehicle to be placed. So I'll hit, I want to get it here. So I'll hit enter. It's going to spawn it in, and then I'm going to be able to sort of move it around, choose where I want it to go. So I want it about here, move it up a little bit, and press enter. And there we go, we created our display vehicle. We can add more of them, so we can jump in here, and we'll also do the Astron SUV in orange, and we'll place the vehicle. We'll just place it down here. Again, we can sort of position it around, find a nice place for it. And it's going to help you if there's collisions and let you know about that. I'll place that. And there we go. So now we can see our display vehicles, and they're immediately placed. Now, since I'm set up with target, I'm now able to immediately go ahead and target them. So I can see Galavanta Baller STD in the showroom here. So I can click view in showroom, and it's going to pre-select that vehicle for me, which is super awesome. And we can see our new stock. We have the stock that we delivered, and it's so cool to have, like, you know, I personally delivered this vehicle into the dealership. It really enhances the immersion. And yeah, if I'm a customer, I can go ahead and buy it. In addition to the display vehicle tab, we also have sales. So you can go ahead and see your sales here. We also have direct selling, which I'm going to show very shortly. And if you directly sell a vehicle to a customer, it will show the sales rep here. You can see whether it's finance or full and how much is owed and so on. The bank balance, so you can withdraw and deposit money to the balance, which is how you can, like, order vehicles and so on. Employees, so we have the option to, of course, use framework jobs, which is how it's set up right now, where the job from the framework, so you see I'm a vehicle dealer, and that is how the permissions are managed. But you can also use our built-in job system. So if you don't want to use the framework side, you can just use our built-in job system. And this tab here will have an entire employee hiring system, which is awesome if you want that. There's also coupons. So as you saw in the purchase flow, you can add a coupon, and here's where you create that coupon. So you create a coupon code, let's say YouTube, and percentage off, you know, discount value 10%. And you can configure loads of things here. How many uses it has. So I can say it's got a maximum number of uses, per player uses, expiry date, restrict to certain vehicles. You can put some spawn codes in here, certain categories, and what else we have? Allow and finance purchases as well. So you can really make sure that this coupon is only used for certain things, and it helps you then be able to make coupons that you can leave permanently if you want to, you know, let players say buy their first vehicle, because admins can go ahead and create these for a self-service, for example. So you could give someone a single use per player, get your first vehicle for free type of situation. So it's really nice to have this option here. We create that coupon, we can see, and we can keep track of its uses and edit it whenever we would like. And finally, settings, you can update the dealership name and set a commission for the direct selling feature. So if a employee sells a vehicle directly to a customer, this is how much commission they get for that sale. All right, so direct selling. So how does direct selling work, and what is it? Direct selling is an entirely RP way of selling vehicles to customers and test driving vehicles. So rather than the standard way of them going into the showroom, possibly test driving the vehicle in a bucket at the airport, buying the vehicle without any interaction, you could entirely disable the showroom and instead choose to do everything through direct sales. So you can hire employees, set them as just sellers, and then they'll be able to access the tablet, which is /direct sale. So I have this customer here who's looking very interested. This is my second client, and I'm going to go ahead and do /direct sale. Now, he's told me that he's super interested in this Astron, but wants to take it on a test drive first. So I'm going to go ahead and just check if we have that in stock. So I'm going to look at SUVs and in stock. I could also search for it here as well and find it. And I can see we have 2 in stock, so that's awesome. So let's go ahead and do a test drive with him. And I'll select the player, which is the client, and a color. Now, he loves it in this orange, so I'm going to go ahead and select a nice orange and start the test drive. Now, once I click continue and give keys, My other client is going to get the keys and they're going to go ahead and be able to drive it by themselves, or I can come in the car with them. But we're fully in control of it. So the test driver spawned at the point on the map, so you can walk the customer to the vehicle, and at the end, we have to manually end it. So I'm going to hit continue and give keys. They've received keys to the vehicle, and we can see the active test drive here. Now, once we're done with this, or in case the vehicle gets stolen, for example, we can go ahead and track it or end it. Now, any employee with the self permissions can end the test drive, but they can all see in here, so you can keep track of what's going on. So let's go ahead and walk him to the vehicle. So it's spawned right here outside. Let's go take a look. Now, I have a set of keys, but also my second client over here has a set of keys. So let's just cancel the coffee. And I can go ahead and jump in this vehicle. I have the keys, but I can press unlock. And at any point, I could jump in with him, for example, and we can go on our test drive like this. Now, once we're done with the test drive, say we've driven out, we've completely done with it. Let me get out here. Now, if they're in the vehicle or whatever, we can obviously remotely end it. So I'm back into direct sale, and I can go ahead and end that test drive, remove it, and people will be taken out if they're in it. So you can see that the test drive has now been ended. So super, super nice. Now let's bring this player back inside again. Let's say he now wants to buy the vehicle. So that's also super easy to do. So I can go ahead and let's find it. He wants to purchase this. Great. Let's sell it to him nearby. And if they are far away and they come near, you can hit refresh. You don't have to come out of here. Press next. They are pretty happy with it in this orange color, but they want to finance it. So let's say they want to do 24 payments to keep the payments nice and low, and they want to give 25% up front, keep their payments at $3,000. And this will be every 12 hours, which again is configurable. The interest rate is configurable, and pay today, etc., etc. Perfect. And I think we have the coupon code I created earlier, which was YouTube, which applies here, so they can get 8,000 off. They told me about this coupon code, or I want to offer the coupon code as a way of reducing the cost here. And that brings the payments down a little bit, the pay today. And there we go. So now we're ready to send the request. So we'll hit send request, and we're now waiting for the customer to accept or decline. On my other client here, I've now got the purchase request. So this is the purchase sheet. This is the agreement I'm making to buy the Astron. This is what I'm paying today. This is how many payments I'm making. This is the finance amount, the original price, and so on and so forth. So now ready, I can choose bank account, and then I have to sign for it. So I can draw to sign here, and then I can accept and purchase. And on the other client, sale complete. And in this case, as an employee, I get 10% of that commission for selling that vehicle. So a sale end-to-end done entirely in roleplay. Setting up JG dealerships is now done entirely in-game. So unlike before, we had to go into the config, manage your locations through there. The only config that you now have to do is just basic things such as core settings, locales, and integrations with other scripts. There's also some more advanced things if you really want to tweak how the script works, but core setup, management of locations, management of vehicles is all now done entirely in-game. So as I can see, I can go into /dealer_admin, which is the old command, but we now get an entirely new user interface. So from here, as an admin, I get a full sort of heads up display seeing everything. I get to see the locations on the map, see my distribution. Do I have a good number of locations across the entire map for people to use? I can click on these as well, and I can see this one's disabled. I can go in here and I can see all the different things. I can also see in this list here, so I can go ahead and look at a location. I can go ahead and edit it, and you can manage just about everything. So for example, I can set up permissions for various parts of the job. So people with the car dealer recruit permission can just view records, but I can give them other permissions. Set it to owned or self-service. I can set my categories. I can now set all of my locations in game, and it's super awesome. It's super, super advanced. So for example, let's go into open showroom. I want to add some new interactions. So I get this new menu here. Now this highlights existing interactions. So you can see our highlighted ped is over here. I can also press escape to walk around and take a look at where we have existing interactions. Now let's say I also want to add some other interactions here. So I'm going to add a new one. I'm going to say I want to add a point interaction, and I'm just going to say, give it a nickname here, example, and set position. Now I can go ahead and set where I want to place the point. So enter, and here's my point. So I can use the arrow keys to move it around. I can scroll to make it larger. And let's say I just want to add a zone here, right, for one of these points. I go ahead and press enter. I can enable a blip for this. So I can say, let's put a blip here and let's make this a car. So I can find a nice car blip, say this one, set the color of it to, and let's do a pink one, and the blip size to 1. I can also add a marker here, so it's really obvious where it is, especially because we have target enabled. So we don't want it to be too difficult to find it with the target. So let's set up a thing that's like a little car marker. I'm going to set this to a 1, maybe a 1.5, make sure it's large enough. And let's set this to a pink. And let's have it so it rotates. Now we can update our position if we want to just adjust the position at some point, but we can create it. And there we go. We have a nice spinning marker, and this is the zone that we can use it in. Now this zone is only really important if you have it set up as like a text UI, for example, because this means when you enter that zone, it's going to be, the text UI is going to show at that point. For target, it doesn't really matter. It's just going to be the center of the zone. Target is better with a spawned entity, such as a ped, an object, or a vehicle, which of course you can also do. You can go in here, set an object. For example, I set up a laptop as a way of doing one of the management locations. But I'm done with this, and it's that easy to create new locations. Again, I can do this for management. So if I walk around, I can go ahead and see there's the laptop that I'd set up, and it will just highlight it for you to make it really easy to see what you've got already set up. So there you go. It's that simple to set up new locations. Also things like sell vehicle, purchase. You can enable purchase, enable test drive, all of this on a per dealership basis. Now in the final step, you have some more advanced things. So you can do things like enable finance for this location, set up a custom camera if you would like to do that. You can also adjust the way, the choices of colors. So if you don't want them to have infinite range, you could also set a list of RGB colors, for example, and let them choose from red, yellow, and green. Like this. And if you're not happy with that order, I want green to go first, I can just go ahead and drag that to the front. You can also do color IDs too. So if you want to have things like chameleon, you can go in here and choose a chameleon color. So let's say I want to have burgundy, green flip, and what else? Let's also do like this. And you can have multiple chameleon colors. You can also set up showroom whitelists. So you can set up the showrooms to only be accessible by certain jobs. So I can add a job in here. Let's say police. This is a police garage, and what grades can have access. So let's say all of them can purchase. And it's that simple to set up a job whitelist for the showroom. And as long as there is a job set like this, only that job is now going to be accessing it. If there are no jobs configured and no gangs configured, then anyone can access it. And purchase job whitelists, these are for society purchases. So if you're using JG Advanced Garages, we have a society purchase option where you can purchase vehicles from the dealership that directly will go into the society garage if you choose to do that. And that's it. Save changes, and that's how quickly we updated our PDM dealership location. From here as well, we can also manage existing locations. So if we have a location we want to go into the management panel for it, we can remotely access it from the admin, and I can view it as an admin. And I get some additional permissions too, such as being able to automatically override the stock quantity. So saying I want to go in here and set up a dealership with some stock before the new owner comes in, I can go ahead and do that and set stock quantity. So I can overwrite this and set it to 5, for example. And just every other feature I get it as normal. So a useful time for this is if it's a self-service dealership, I can go in and set everything up through this admin panel, because of course there won't be a management location. If you're migrating from V1, you can also import your locations. So if you have your existing config file, it works, drag and drop it in, and you can click import, and you can go ahead and import from your existing config, your V1 config. And this will import all your locations in, bring them into the new in-game creator, and then you can go ahead and edit them from there. Also, if you're setting up for the first time, you're just jumping into dealerships and you'd never owned V1, you can add some default pre-configured locations just to improve setup and make it a little bit easier for you. From within the dealer admin panel, I can also manage the entire vehicle catalog. These are vehicles across every dealership location. So from here, I can add new ones. I can edit what dealerships a vehicle is in. So say I go to the Illusion and press edit, and I can manage what dealerships this particular vehicle is in. So whether I want to remove it from some dealerships or add new dealerships. I can also set price limits in here, which means that certain dealerships where this vehicle is in, they can't sell it below a certain price or above a certain price and help them not overprice a vehicle, for example. From here as well, if I'm setting it from scratch, this is also where I'm going to import all my vehicles. So you can have them import from a source you already have. So I'm on Qbox here and I'm going to choose Qbox and I can see I got 881 vehicles available for import. I can append them, which means only add new vehicles that we don't already have, or I can overwrite my entire tables. This will unfortunately delete all existing orders, display vehicles, and sales data though. So this is not recommended other than for first time setup, or you're doing a complete wipe of your database. But super, super easy to manage all your vehicles from within here. All right, so that was just a quick overview of what Dealerships V2 has to offer. There's actually so much more to explore. There's absolutely tons to this script. I can't show all of it here as this video would be, an hour long. It'd be like the mechanic video. So I'm trying to keep it as short as possible, just show you guys the highlights, see what's new. And yeah, I hope you are as excited about it as I am. Check it out on the store, jgscripts.com. Join the Discord, discord.gg/jgscripts. We run giveaways, get exclusive discounts, chat with the community, see when we update it. We have so much planned for this year, so I'm really excited to see you there. I really appreciate you watching. Thank you so much.